Welcome to the Real Estate Majlis podcast, where we dive into the latest real estate insights and trends. Whether you are a seasoned investor or a first-time buyer, our podcast is here to provide valuable information and expert advice. This episode is powered by Beirut, the UAE's leading property platform and proud member of the Dubizo Group. Whether you're buying, selling, or renting, Beirut connects you with real estate solutions tailored to your needs using innovative tools like TrueCheck, TrueEstimate, TrueBroker, and Beirut GPT. From finding your next home to advertising your listings with confidence, Beirut offers real photos, real prices, and real properties, helping you make informed decisions in the market.
We have a great guest with us today, Mr. Rami Tabbara, who's the CEO of Stake, which is one of the, or you always like to say, I am the biggest platform for investment right here in Dubai, real estate investment, regulated by the FSA. So Rami, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We have a lot of people who ask us, we want to invest in real estate, but not too much money. We have 100,000, 50,000. So I always tell them that we have a very good product that is regulated, protected, your money is there. So tell us more about Stake and what's your vision and what you've done so far. And by the way, congrats. You've recently advertised that you reached 500 million dirhams of transactions,
yep.
Which is great.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes, thank you very much. So quick intro on what Stake is. Stake is a digital real estate investment platform that allows anyone from anywhere in the world to invest in Dubai real estate in under 3 minutes, starting from 500 dirhams on an app. We launched in January 2021. We're based in the IFC, regulated by the DFSA, as you said. And since we launched till today, we have now close to 850,000 users.
Wow, that's a big number, man.
Actually, if we hit 500 million on the 1st of November. As of today, we're at 540 million. So our growth now is much faster. We've paid out rental income of 21 million dirhams to investors. And the beauty of our platform is we allow anyone from anywhere in the world. So we have 170 nationalities from 206 countries who invested on our platform. So really, it just shows you how much demand Dubai real estate has.
What's an average in terms of performance, rental yield or income that all those guys have achieved in your platform?
So our platform average today, the portfolio has paid out a rental return of 5.7% net. Straight. We pay that on a monthly basis, so that rental income is paid monthly. Appreciation, obviously Dubai has done very well. We've had tailwinds in our favor. We've had an average of around 10% appreciation per year.
On the top of the rental.
On top of the rental. So, you look at kind of our exits. So we've exited full properties. Average return per year is anywhere between 10 to 15% all in. So, we've done really well for our investors.
I'd like to break it down. Okay, let's go back to stage one, which is understanding what fractional ownership is and what are the legalities around it. Because you mentioned two key numbers here. You talk about rental return, and then you talk about exiting the property, which one would assume as a fractional owner, you get part of the sellout equity if you make an equity, obviously. So how does that work?
So real simple. We call it's a real estate investment platform that allows people to start in from 500 dirhams.
Yeah.
Whatever you invest is what you own, and then you get a share certificate from the DIFC, which is the Dubai International Financial Center, equivalent to how much you've invested. So you get that protection. You actually can type your name on the DIFC website, registrar, and see your name on that company that owns the property. And then we get a title deed from the land department, which is in the name of the company that owns the property.
Right.
So because you have to set up an SPV to own the property.
And explain what SPV is.
An SPV is a special purpose vehicle.
Yes.
It's it's a company that you set up in the IFC to enable you to have
multiple
thousands
owners,
of investors into that property.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of it, as I said, is it's ring fenced. So Stake doesn't own anything. It's all the investors are there.
Right.
As I said, it's fully transparent. We're regulated by the DFSA. So it really enables people to invest in smaller amounts, but in a very regulated and transparent way.
Right.
And then when you invest in the property, we then take care of all the headaches. So we outsource property management. We take care of all the registration, everything. Once that's done, we then pay rental income to our investors. That rental income is paid on a monthly basis, distributed into your Stake wallet. So when you set up an account with us on Stake, you get a digital wallet where we pay you with that rental income there.
Right.
You can withdraw that rental income to your wallet anywhere in the world.
Right.
Then obviously when you buy into the property, there's the capital appreciation. Dubai has done phenomenally well over the last 4 years, so you're getting upside from the capital appreciation. The question is, how do you realize that capital appreciation if you haven't sold the property?
Yes.
So we've enabled something called exit windows, where people after 1 year can sell their stakes on the platform for the latest market valuation price. So we do a third-party market valuation on every single property that's listed with us every 6 months. So you're able to track on our app how much your stake is worth, and then exit whenever you want to, or wait till when the full property is sold. And we don't decide when the property is sold. The investors on the platform, they vote that, hey, this is the latest price. And then if we get an offer, we send it on the app, and then the majority decide, and people exit.
So it's by majority vote.
By majority vote. There's a lot of people who say, I don't have money, I want to enter into the real estate market in Dubai. There's an article in Bloomberg yesterday where stake was featured, so we're very proud of that, where they basically say that because of the Dubai market's become very hot, there's a lot of people who've been priced out. But I'll also say something. We have investors on our platform that aren't just coming in for 500 dirhams. We have people who've invested millions of dirhams with us because we offer golden visas. It took us a long time to convince the government to allow us to say, hey, if you're investing 2 million dirhams into a property, why shouldn't allow us to give that for people who invest on our platform?
Right.
So we've issued over 20 golden visas to people living all over the world, and that's enabled people to invest big amounts on our platform.
Is there a limit to how many people can be part of the company?
No limit. We have properties that have thousands of investors, and we have properties that have 60 investors. It really depends on how much gets invested.
And then you get to choose, obviously, what property you want to put your stake in.
Yeah. So we have at any point in time at least 7 to 8 properties on the platform. Because again, I want to say we're not a marketplace. Where basically you're listing as many properties on the platform.
Right.
We actually get hundreds of properties sent to us, and then we select the best ones that make sense. I've been in the market for 20 years. I know who the good developers are. I know which areas make sense. Is the property in the right price? We have all that data. So then we're a curated marketplace. So the best selection comes on, and then the investors get the choice of, hey, I want to put 1,000 dirhams into a marina property or 1,000 dirhams into a DIFC property. And that gives them the diversity. And I'll say this, if you're looking to invest in Dubai real estate, for me, it doesn't make sense to lock up your capital into one property. On the contrary, stake makes a lot of sense because you can diversify, reduce your risk, and get rental income from various areas.
The properties you select, they must be ready, or you get into the wagon of off-plan as well?
So I wish, if the regulator is listening to us, the FSA, I wish we could have done off-plan, because I think our platform would have been, 500 million, we would have crossed maybe billions by now, because of the off-plan market in Dubai. The transactions are
the upside,
but our regulator only allows ready.
Okay.
Which, to be honest with you, there's a silver lining there, because at the end of the day, people want income. And there's lower risk. Some developers might be late. Your retail customer won't understand that, hey, why is this late? Why am I not getting any income? So we focus on, ready properties that can generate income immediately.
So Rami, if we do a comparison between two investors, one who decided to go his own way, buy something in Dubai, and for someone who has chosen a more of a passive income going through your platform, have you done any kind of comparison in terms of benefits? And that's, again, in light of what brings people, what motivates them to invest in your platform?
Obviously, when you're doing it by yourself, there are less costs, because what we do is we have to run KYC costs. We run know your customer costs being regulated, and also there's costs that we have to run as a platform. But having said that, would you be willing to pay a bit more to get the peace of mind that you're dealing with a regulated business and someone who's taking care of your entire hassle of managing the property? We are the most advanced real estate investment platform in the world. We have built something where you can have full access to your portfolio, how much it's worth, how much your income is going up. Really, we've created such an easy platform. So for someone who wants to invest in Dubai real estate and doesn't want the hassle, we believe that stake is a much better option because of the fact that you're doing it and you're doing it in a much more diversified way and a lower risk. Because what's your alternative? If you want to buy a property today, either you have cash and you're locking up all that money into one property, or if you're buying off plan according to a payment plan, or you're getting a mortgage and you go to bed at night knowing that you owe a bank a lot of money. So, how do you get into the real estate market from an investment point of view, but do it with a lower hassle and on a digital way? Today the whole world is on your phone. Everything you do is on your phone. So why can't real estate investment be that? And we offer that. And I think that's why we provide a much better alternative to the traditional way of buying real estate up front yourself.
And these properties have to be initially in Dubai?
We'll be in Saudi Arabia tomorrow. We've been working at it for 18 months. We have a team there. One of our shareholders is Waad Ventures, part of Aramco. So we'll be live in Saudi Arabia tomorrow, and then in Abu Dhabi we'll be live by Q1, which I'm very excited about because one of our shareholders is Mubadala. So we're working very closely with them to be live in Abu Dhabi very soon.
Mashallah, working in different markets. What are the current biggest legal and regulatory hurdles for such business?
So obviously when you're dealing with a regulator like the FSA, you want to run at 120 miles an hour, but then you have a regulator that really cares about the retail investors. So before we do anything, we have to run it by the regulator. So that kind of slows you down. But over and above that, because we're kind of dealing with two kinds of entities. We deal with the DFSA and the DIFC, but then we also have to deal with the land department. And one of the issues that we've seen, the hurdles, is, when we want to be treated like a new age REIT. So there's transfer costs. Whenever someone wants to sell their stake, there's transfer fees. You still have to pay the 2%, and you still have to, for brokers, if there's a broker involved when you're buying the property, there's 4% transfer fees. Those fees, I'd love to figure out a way, from a regulatory perspective, to reduce those. Because in REITs, when there's trading in a REIT, there's no, the Dubai Land Department has allowed that transfer to happen without a cost. We'd like to lose those costs, because what it does happen is increase the returns for the investors. Because at the end of the day, why do people invest in Dubai? They want those high yields compared to other cities in the world. So that's been the main regulatory challenge, is how do you get the FSA plus Dubai Land Department plus the IFC around the table to agree that our business should be treated like a new age 21st century REIT.
Sometimes people get into schemes where they feel they're going to win, or they might feel they can get out as quick as they want. So what are the framework would like people to have in their mind before entering into fractional ownership?
It's a great question. And I think, first of all, don't invest any money that, that you're not comfortable investing. Some people get excited about real estate. We see that in the off plan. They come in, they buy 4 units thinking that they can sell them.
And they cannot
exactly
deal with the next
and they get
installment.
stuck with them. Exactly. Yeah. So with us, the beauty of it is you're not really putting in big installments, but we always tell people to make sure that the money you're investing, you're comfortable investing. But over and above that, we're talking about this before, real estate is not a liquid asset. It's not, it's not something, it's not stocks.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to be that. We don't want to be the stock market of real estate.
Yeah.
In my opinion, real estate is a long-term investment. We've known that. Our parents have taught us that. Put money into real estate, and the most amount of money you make is when you wait long-term. You ask anyone who bought a home in the last 10 years, would you sell it at the same price you bought it 10 years ago? Everyone will tell you no, because property appreciates over time. So what I tell customers, and what we're focusing a lot on our content and our FAQs, everything that we speak to our customers is, when you invest in real estate, don't expect to sell it after a year with profits, because when you're coming in, you have costs that you need to pay in. You're paying the 2% brokerage fee, you're paying 4% DLD fees, you're paying our fees. If you're looking to invest in real estate, make sure that you have a long-term view, more than a year, because it takes time to get that money. So that's one of the main things that I'd focus on. Because we're focused on ready real estate,
right,
the risks are very limited. So other than the fact that we really want people to think long-term, there aren't many risks involved, because we focus on good real estate in good locations that are rented, they're finished, you can see the tenancy contract, who the tenants are, how much income you're getting. So really the risk is very reduced on that basis.
Yeah, but for example, if you enter into a dispute with the tenant who stops paying for whatever reason, right, you're still going to have to go through the legal process to remove him from the property, which then will stop the yield. So how that conversation is managed with the stakeholders, for example?
Great question. And that's actually happened to 2 of our properties. And how does it happen? We have to be fully transparent. Right. I mean, whether you own through stake or you own on your own, there's always going to be a risk of a tenant defaulting, or that's going to happen. But the beauty of it is we're dealing with it on your behalf. And if you've diversified, not all your properties are going to have a legal case. You might have 1, but the other 10 won't. So how do we deal with that? We communicate to our investors, and then we take care of all that hassle on their behalf, with the small fees that we're taking. We take a 0.5% management fee every year.
Right.
So part of that is really maintaining those cases. Yes, and there's always a risk that's going to happen, but that's why we really focus. And one thing we're introducing next year is tenant screening.
Right.
So, if you're going to live in a stake property, you're going to go through the tenant screening. And I think one of the things that, we want to be proud of is now we have over 320 properties. We want to be one of the biggest landlords in Dubai. And the beauty of this is, in Dubai versus other places in the world, you don't have these institutional investors that hold properties long term, or developers here, all they do is they build and sell off plan.
Yeah.
They don't hold on to the properties and create income generating assets for themselves. We want to be that. We want to be, we want investors to be the biggest real estate owners here. So we want to stand. So if you live in a stake apartment, we want you to have the best experience. So naturally, we want to give our tenants great experiences, working with the top PMs, and making sure that, you know, all the tenants are screened, but also they're getting the best, you know, rental experience in Dubai.
On the model itself, and
Yeah.
again, question related to trust and credibility. You said tenants, so I assume like a lot of your properties are long-term tenanted rather than short-term. A lot of friends, when they ask me about crowdfunding and whatever we call it, I know you don't like crowdfunding, but there are some concerns on initial value of a property. Is it overvalued or not overvalued to start with? And then what kind of mechanism are there to make sure we don't have any conflict of interest in terms of dealing with players, property managers, service providers that will take some of their return at the end of the day? So how do you make sure that you're doing the best for your owners?
It's a great question. So I'll tell you, one of the things that differentiates us across kind of other players in the market is we're in the business to bring recurring investors. We're not someone who's going to sell you a home for 2 million dirhams and then, you know, see you maybe next time you refer someone. When you invest with us, because it's a recurring investment, I'll give you a stat. Over 70% of our investors invest more than once. So they keep coming back because they see that rental income and they keep coming back. So it's in our best interest to make sure that not only are we getting the best properties in the market, but also making sure that we're dealing with the best PMs. Now, the regulator makes sure that there's no conflict of interest in the sense of any third party that you onboard to your platform needs to make sure that you've done all the checks and balances. We don't own anything in that property. It's really, you know, they've been screened to make sure that they're individual, independent PMs that stake has nothing to do with. In terms of properties, also by the regulator, we have to do third-party valuation reports on every single property that comes onto the platform. It's not in our interest to buy something that's above market. I'll actually tell you this, and we've worked with some of the top brokers in town, you know, the Allsops, Driven, and we get a lot of stock from them. We're actually now one of their top buyers because of the fact that we can transact very quick. So I'll give you a stat. This year, end to end, we sell a property in 11 days. We actually sold the property in 5 minutes. It'll be in the Guinness Book of Records. Put a property on our platform, 5 minutes it was sold. So when you have that buying power, we can go to sellers and be like, hey, listen, we're getting you that, you know, price real quick. We're getting you that sale real quick, so we can push them down on price. So, you know, if you look at all our properties, we're buying stuff at either at market or below market. So that's, you know, checks the boxes of both properties and PM.
And so this is how you build trust and credibility, right?
100%.
But long-term, short-term rental?
I'll be honest with you, we made a mistake. We kind of went with the hype. There was a lot of hype around short-term, around maybe 12 to 24 months ago. Yeah. So we started moving some of our properties into short-term, and then we realized that it's too much hype. You're not getting that much of a higher yield versus what you get on long-term. So what we did is we then scaled back our short-term and moved to long-term because the rents are a lot higher and also more consistent. Because you have to remember, you know, our investors want that income paid at the end of every month. What happens in the summer? When the rent starts dropping, our investors are like, hey, you know, I was getting, you know, my 6% isn't 6% anymore. So then we moved to short-term. I would say long-term. I would say our portfolio split is 80-20 now.
Okay, that's good.
80 long-term, 20 short-term.
And how do you approach the education process of the product? Because in the end of the day, something that is relatively new in the UAE market, you just doing Dubai and then you open in Abu Dhabi soon. How do you educate and how do you deal with the misconceptions about?
We focus on content. You know, if you realize what we've done in the last 4 years, we've built a content machine. We have the best team. First of all, I'll say we have the best team across all departments, but we actually have the best marketing team out there. And I think one of the things that we've done really well is because we focused on tech, so we're over 80 people now as a business, over 40 people are in tech. So we've built such a really good platform that people, if you go to our user reviews, they tell you buying on Stake is so easy, it's the best, it's the most advanced platform. So that user journey has helped us create that word of mouth. But then how do you take that and then build it on your brand? And one thing that we've really focused on, everyone tells you, yeah, build a good product and a really good sales team. I disagree. You have to really a good product, but you have to have good branding. Like, you know, what separates the top developers here? It's the branding. What we focused on is when you think real estate investment online, you know Stake. And that's what we've really we want to be the number one company in the region and then eventually the world, where if you think real estate, why don't you think Stake? And it's really about content, educational, whether you're doing social media, influencers, you know, writing news, doing stuff like this, you know, going out and writing blogs. We really focus on content to educate people on what we're doing. And we've simplified it. So when you download our app, it's like you're ordering something on Deliveroo or Talabat. 3 minutes, check out, you own something in Dubai. That is something that's never been done.
A lot of residents of Dubai and citizens of Dubai and UAE, the ones who have kids, they always think about how do I make sure that I secure some money for my kids.
One thing that we always say is if you have $100 or whatever, 100,000 dirhams, we don't want you to invest it all in state. Put some money aside. Crypto is right now, Bitcoin is rallying. So we say put some money into crypto, put some money into the stock market, but also keep money into real estate. One thing that we haven't done a good job, and it's great that you brought up, is going to schools and educating the younger generation that, hey, you have to put money on the side and put into real estate. Because I think in today's world, there's so much hype, and people think that I can become a millionaire overnight, right? The crypto kind of craze ruined a lot of people thinking, oh, I can become a millionaire overnight. That's not the real world. And I think today, that's where we need to do a good job. And I think we have to simplify it. That when you put money into real estate, you're getting that upside from two kinds of income: capital appreciation and rental returns.
But I think there is a challenge a little bit with the ownership aspect of children, minors, right? In terms of buying, selling, and transferring. And obviously you need a court order because unless there is some potential paperwork the parents can sign that would allow that transaction to happen, because it's, unless the view is to keep the money there for 10, 15 years, I think there's still a little hurdle when it comes to that aspect.
To the age limit. Yeah, and I think what people do is they can open an account in their name and then transfer it later into their kid's name, provided we can convince the DLD to remove the fees.
Hopefully.
What about technology? I mean,
Yes.
obviously you are tech-driven, a platform, but what's to come?
So I'll tell you one of the two things that we're really proud of. What first thing is, as I said, we launched something called the exit windows that gives people liquidity. So to create something like that wasn't easy. And the way we did that is really it's become kind of a market where buyers and sellers meet anonymously. You put your price. You can put your price at the latest valuation report, or 20, 15, 10, 5% discount. In our last exit window, we had over 9 million shares get transferred. For every seller, there was 4 buyers. So really, building that technology wasn't easy. So that's something we're very proud of. We're 3 co-founders. One of the co-founders, Manar, who's co-CEO as well. I've known him for over 25 years. And then our third co-founder is Ricardo, who's, if you ask us what is the best decision you've ever made at stake, we say finding Ricardo, because he's really taken, our technology to another level. So, that's one thing, the exit windows in terms of technology. Another thing that we just launched last month is something called Auto Invest. So today, it's the first time this has been done in the world. It's a subscription service for real estate investment, just like your Netflix and Amazon service. You set how much money you want your debit card to be charged. You say 5,000 dirhams on the 25th of every month, and I want that to be divided across properties that have 50% high yield, 25% high capital appreciation, and 25% balanced. And we've built the algorithm where automatically it takes that money out of your wallet and distributes it across the properties. So it's created that auto invest where you don't have to think about what you do. That for me is something that's, hasn't been built before. One thing that I was talking to you about, is we launch in Saudi Arabia tomorrow, and it's going to be from one app. So you can invest in 2 countries, literally by swiping left, swiping right. That's never been done. It's cross-border. So really, tech is at the heart of everything we do. And if you've really used our app, you'll see that, we're so determined to build something that's just so user-friendly and so easy to use.
My last question is, what's your advice to investors who wants to invest in Dubai or Abu Dhabi using your platform?
I would say come in, try us with any amount. We say starting from 500 dirhams. Start with any amount and see if we deliver on our promise. And I think one thing that we've seen, the majority of our customers who've tried us at 500 dirhams or whatever the first amount is, as soon as we pay them the first rental income and they get the documents onto their app, the next investment is 4 times bigger. So I would say to investors, you can't go wrong with investing in Dubai or the United Arab Emirates, best country in the world right now. So getting a piece of the Dubai real estate market or the Abu Dhabi real estate market, you can't go wrong. So start off small and start making.
And you'll come back. And actually, you're so convincing that I can say on your behalf as well, Cecilia, that we both will have our account today.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. We'll
that was the challenge before we started the podcast. Yeah, like he
Did
made a good point.
Did I win?
I'm in.
I'm in too.
Thank you. It was a pleasure
so much.
having you.
Thank
it was
you.
great.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.